The Minecraft World Record has stood for 17 months, the longest in the history of 116 any% random seed glitchless. Today, on the 11th of June, 2025, it was finally beaten. Drip 120's world record was a monumental run at the time, breaking multiple records along the way. The fastest time to leave the nether at 4 minutes and 26 seconds, the fastest time to enter the stronghold at 5:23, and the fastest end enter at 5:45. These were absolutely insane times for January 2024. Nobody was even close to entering the end that fast, with the previous fastest time to enter the end being Dougal's second place run, with him entering the end at 6:15, a whole 30 seconds behind Drip. Drip, however, didn't go for the zero cycle, a strategy where speedrunners kill the dragon before it even perches, which saves a bunch of time in the end fight. Even with a lucky perch, Drip finished the seed in 7 minutes and 1 second. Fast forward now 16 months to May 2025. Drip's record is still standing, but the gap he built is slowly closing. No Hacks Just Roblox has a 5:55 end enter, only 10 seconds behind Drip's record. Aquacord has exited the nether at 4 minutes and 11 seconds, which is faster than Drip's time. The community is constantly improving and catching up with Drip's speedrun. And all of this culminates in 3 runs in the past few weeks that have got closer and closer to beating Drip's record. Max was able to enter the nether very quickly using a buried treasure chest, and upon entering the nether is greeted with the most beautiful fortress and bastion, or Fastion for short, that you could ever lay your eyes upon. But rather than doing the conventional triple to gap route, where you drag pigs down to the bottom of the bastion and trade most of the gold, Max plays for the high roll and trades much less gold in an attempt to leave the bastion faster. This play really pays off, getting all the pearls to enter the end without having to spend extra time in the bastion, meaning that he enters the fortress at 3 minutes. He grabs a few blaze rods and leaves the nether, blind traveling into a village, which is super helpful, as he grabs 3 beds here to kill the dragon with later. After killing some more blazes and throwing a few pearls, Max is ready to enter the stronghold in under 6 minutes, and heads straight to the end portal. But with only 1 eye already filled in the portal, Max has exactly 2 pearls to use in the end fight. That means if the end platform is buried, the zero cycle is impossible. And if the dragon chooses the 50% chance to fly towards the back of the end island, the zero cycle is also impossible. But with 5 beds and 2 pearls, this end enter is one of the first that has a true chance of dethroning Drip's world record. And when he enters, the end platform isn't buried. Now he just needs the dragon to be circling the front towers. Max's dragon wouldn't be able to perch fast enough to beat Drip's world record, and so he reset the run. Drip had yet another contender in May, with Priffy almost beating the world record. The run started as most runs do in the modern day, with a buried treasure. He enters the nether at 1 minute and 15 seconds, but gets to the bastion significantly slower than Max because of the insane distance that he needs to run. He's now 30 seconds off Drip 120's pace, and a minute behind Max's. How can this still possibly world record? Well, once he leaves the bastion and eventually makes his way to the fortress, Priffy gets 6 blaze rods from 6 stray blaze spawns, and the speedrun catapults back onto the same pace as the world record. After finding the stronghold coordinates, Priffy saves even more time by overlapping his crafting while his pearls fly through the air, allowing him to push for the faster zero cycle when entering the end. He enters the stronghold just 7 seconds behind Drip and enters the end just 5 seconds behind. But with 6 beds, full health, and enough blocks, Priffy can hit a zero cycle to have the very first sub 7 in the history of Minecraft speedrunning. Let's talk a little bit about this end fight. The dragon has a 7 in 8 chance to pick the diagonal node, circling either this tower at the front or this tower at the back. Priffy, however, rolled the 1 in 8 chance for the dragon to pick the perpendicular tower. This is a little more annoying. Rather than building straight up from the tower, you need to build out towards the center of the island. After a few pearls, he clutches with the last few of his solid blocks, which was a bit of a mistake. Soul Sand is probably the better block to clutch here with, as the height of the block is 1/8 smaller than any full block. But after clutching with his nether bricks, the majority of his remaining blocks are Soul Sand, causing Priffy's movement to be slowed down to 50%. This means his speed bridge is at a very different rhythm to normal, causing him to mistime a block placement, falling to his death. Well, falling to his death is kind of wrong. Insanely enough, Priffy reacts fast enough while falling to open his inventory, pull the boat out of his inventory, place it, and enter the boat without taking any damage. But he still dies to an angered Enderman. Something that many people wouldn't have noticed is that Priffy throws his first pearl while he's still organizing his inventory. But once it lands, closing his inventory, he's staring directly at an Enderman, who's now angered towards the player. Even though he's able to pearl away without taking any damage, the Enderman is still aggroed onto Priffy. So even with an immensely skillful clutch, after such a devastating moment, in such a high pressure, world record pace moment, the Enderman still jumps into the boat as well, dealing the final few hearts on Priffy's health bar, eliminating any chance of even a personal best. And even though Priffy's run was perfect pace to be the new world record, nothing can overtake Skycrab's run. Unlike the other runs that we've discussed so far, rather than starting with a buried treasure, Skycrab spawns next to a ruined portal, and it has the most majestic thing you can find in a chest at the start of a speedrun: a looting 3 sword. There's a 2.26% chance to roll a looting sword in the ruined portal chest, which conveniently is the same chance as you being subscribed right now. Surely we can increase that chance by clicking the subscribe button, right? Anyway, a looting 3 sword is even more rare at a less than 1% chance, but Skycrab is lucky enough to find it. The perfect overworld keeps providing, as there's a tiger village next to spawn with 3 blacksmiths containing all of the loot he needs for the entire speedrun. Heading back to the original ruined portal, Skycrab enters the nether at 1 minute and 10 seconds, and after a little bit of running, he can see both the bastion and the fortress. This run has gone from a lucky start to a possible world record. The bastion is the same type as Max's run from earlier, but with 2 triple ramparts at the top, meaning Skycrab can perform the fastest bastion route out of any bastion in the game. After dragging all the piglins into a hole, Skycrab unloads an ender pearl so that he can teleport towards the fortress on demand once he has all of the necessary materials. And with a beautiful obsidian motherlode chest, he grabs the last of his trades and heads towards the blazes. With a looting 3 sword, we know that the fortress won't be a problem whatsoever. Skycrab makes a beautiful clutch after a difficult pearl, and then puts Priffy's rates to shame by getting all 6 rods in just 3 blaze kills. This means that Skycrab sets the new fastest time to leave the nether with all of the required materials at just 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Skycrab now measures the distance to the stronghold and heads back into the nether, purling towards the stronghold location. And even after a small mishap by slipping into the lava, he enters the stronghold with yet another world record of 5 minutes and 2 seconds. This run is single-handedly dismantling the legacy that Drip 120 has retained over the course of the past 17 months, with a concoction of beautiful gameplay and good fortune. And although it wasn't the fastest stronghold split we've seen today, due to the hunger reset in the portal room, where Skycrab intentionally respawns to reset his hunger and health to full, this is still the fastest end enter anyone has ever had, beating the previous record by Drip by 20 seconds. And this time, Skycrab has the materials to zero cycle. If Skycrab hits the zero cycle, the world record will be broken by almost 45 seconds, the biggest time cut since the first ever sub 10 by Brentilda. This run could hypothetically mark the end of 1.16 random seed speedruns. With impeccably timed explosives, Skycrab does something that no other runner has done so far this video: complete a zero cycle. And his reaction speaks for itself.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
The elation. The heartbreak. This run would have been a 6:17, marking a 44-second gap to second place if it wasn't for the same fatal mishap that Priffy's run suffered just weeks before. Opening the inventory to craft extra blocks while pearling, he stared at an Enderman. This death was, sadly, avoidable. The thought of an angered Enderman was not on Skycrab's mind. This may go down as one of the most agonizing moments in Minecraft speedrun history. These 3 runs depict the build-up of Drip 120's legacy coming to its conclusion. And on the 11th of June, the speedrunner Lowkey finally took the crown. He has a backlog of impressive achievements, currently having the set seed world record and having won MCSR ranked playoffs 3 separate times. He's well known to be one of the best speedrunners of all time. Lowkey's run starts the same as most, grabbing a buried treasure in the overworld. With some beautiful crafting, Lowkey enters the nether pretty late in comparison to other runs that we've analyzed today. That's because of how far away this magma ravine was. Also, the proximity to the bastion is a bit further than most runs, but the fortress is close, unlike Priffy's. Missing this jump in the bridge bastion almost ended the entire run after just 2 minutes. But with a nice clutch, we break the chalice and prepare for a route called Donkey Kong, because I guess it kind of looks like a Donkey Kong level. After this pearl hang fails and doesn't actually unload after Lowkey lowers his render distance, he makes a heads-up play by, well, doing it again, making a double distance pearl hang while waiting for his trades. Now, cast your mind back to Skycrab's run for just a moment as Lowkey enters the fortress and kills his first blaze at 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Skycrab is already out of the nether, locating the stronghold. Lowkey, however, isn't far behind, locating the spawner after killing the stray blazes, locking in the perfect rates, going 6 rods for 6 blaze kills, leaving the nether at 4:45. His first eye phases into the blocks in this cavern, meaning he has to throw another, but luckily, neither of them broke, getting another bit of decent luck. Heading back into the nether, Lowkey throws a perfect pearl, just a few blocks away from falling into the lava, allowing him to angle another pearl perfectly towards the stronghold coordinates. He enters the stronghold at 5:41 and then enters the end at 5:56. This is slower than both Priffy's and Skycrab's run, and also slower than Drip's current world record. But none of this matters, as long as Lowkey hits the 0 cycle. And I'll let that part of the run speak for itself. Two double beds, 4 rotations, and the dragon is dead. And he even builds up 2 blocks in the fountain, just in case there's a random Enderman that's angry at him. And with that, the longest standing Minecraft world record has been broken. But with the pace we've seen in the past few weeks, I have a feeling this one won't stand for long. Drop a sub so you can keep up to date, and maybe you'll like this video too. It's about another Minecraft world record, except one that I got.